YouTube, what is going on? This is That NBA Guy Josh. It is April 19th, 2015. We are on the first weekend of the NBA playoffs, and in this video, we're going to be going over the Eastern Conference predictions. Who do I think is going to go into the NBA Eastern Conference Finals? Who do I think is going to represent the conference in the NBA Finals? Let's just get right into it. Now, as far as the Eastern Conference goes, it's a little weak this year. It really hasn't been anything other than weak in the last couple years. But, and I'm talking overall. I don't mean that there's not one good team. Obviously, the last 4 years we had Miami Heat with LeBron and Wade and Bosh and just a nice mix of other players thrown in there. But, overall, you really haven't had much. Seeds 5 through 8 are always usually, having losing records or very close to a losing record, which is crazy to me because in the Western Conference you got teams that are, 5-6 games over 500 and they're sitting at home, at the end of April, May, and June. You're just sitting there scratching their heads saying, why can't we be located a little bit more east of everything so we can, be in that conference. But, it is what it is. This year, decent talent on the upper half. You got Atlanta. What a year they've been having. Last year they finished the number 8 seed. This year they're the number 1 seed. Mike Budenholzer is obviously, first off, you could tell he's a product of Greg Popovich. The guy, the way he gets the team to rally around each other and just the chemistry that they have. He's done a lot with that team, and I think he definitely is deserving of Coach of the Year this year. Without a doubt. They had the exact same team last year, pretty much to the T. They didn't have Cephalosha, but pretty much to the T, they had the exact same team, and they have just really pushed the envelope on what their talents are worthy of and just where they can go as a franchise. Other than Atlanta, obviously we expected Cleveland to be up there. LeBron coming back to town is always going to make your team a lot better. We've seen Kyrie Irving get even better than he was last year. I think that trend is going to keep going on. He is just amazing talent. He's going to keep getting better. They've upgraded with a lot of trades. They traded Dion Waiters to Oklahoma City. They picked up Timothy Mozgov from the Denver Nuggets in that trade, and he's worked out fantastic for them. They were really missing a piece in the middle. He definitely filled that void. You have locker room veteran leadership now with picking up Kendrick Perkins. They also got in that trade with Oklahoma City. And, just a nice supporting cast. Of course, you got Mike Miller and James Jones that are going to sit on the bench until it really matters. In crunch time, that's how LeBron wants it, so that's how David Blatt's going to play it. And, that's pretty much for Cleveland. Kevin Love, I think, is going to definitely come into his own. They had their first game today against the Boston Celtics, and he put up, I believe, don't quote me on this, 19 points, 12 boards, and 6 assists. That's one hell of a coming-out party for your first NBA playoff game, if I do say so myself. Other teams you got in the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference, we got the Toronto Raptors. They are one of those teams that they just kind of always get overlooked. I'm just going to pull up on my phone here what their actual record was. But, they got a really nice squad. Kyle Lowry made the Eastern Conference All-Star team and started for them this year, which is, hats off to him. That was a really nice accomplishment for him there. They got Terrence Ross. They got Griffs Vasquez. They got a lot of good talent on that team. And, I definitely think they can definitely make some noise in the Eastern Conference Finals, Eastern Conference playoff picture. Just going over some standings here. Toronto actually finished with a 49-33 record for a .598 winning percentage. You really can't hate on that. They definitely won the Atlantic Division. Now in the third seed, we should have gone over Chicago first since Toronto is number 4. But in the third seed, we have the Chicago Bulls. Derrick Rose being hurt for most of last year, most of the year before that, and then, kind of had his issues this year. They had a decent season. Pau Gasol picking him up was a tremendous pickup. They needed him. He started in the All-Star game. That shows you what kind of year he was having. Taj Gibson. Now, the number one thing for Chicago, though, is Jimmy Butler. His emergence, I think that you got to be absolutely crazy to not give him the Most Improved Player of the Year. Other than Hassan Whiteside, I really don't know who you could possibly give it to. But Jimmy Butler, breakout season, filled the void left by Derrick Rose by him being injured. And, Chicago with Noah and Pau Gasol and Taj Gibson and Jimmy Butler and Derrick Rose and Kirk Hinrich and you got Mike Dunleavy from the outside, always a three-point threat. They're a team to be reckoned with. I mean, obviously I'm going to go with, Atlanta and Cleveland as the top two beasts in the East, and obviously, their records definitely scream that. But, Chicago definitely, they only finished 3 games behind Cleveland, which is kind of shocking to me. I think a lot more people thought Cleveland was going to be closer to the 60-win season that Atlanta showed. But, first time, coaching in the NBA for David Blatt, LeBron coming back to a team that was completely different than he left it. Anderson Varejao was injured for the entire season pretty much. And, you kind of mixed a couple other players into the fold, like Mozgov, Perkins. You lost Dion Waiters. 53 wins overall, I'd say it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's great. I think they could have achieved a little bit more, but any team's going to have growing pains, and it's definitely acceptable in my book. Rounding out the Eastern Conference, now one team I really thought was going to make a bigger splash than they did. They ended up with a 46-36 record, is the Washington Wizards. John Wall is a player that I have a lot of respect for, as well as Bradley Beal. Now, Washington picking up Paul Pierce in the offseason, fantastic move. Absolutely fantastic. He is a true player's player in every sense of the word. He is an elite veteran. He's a leader. The guy you could tell that he made that team a lot better. Now, that's why I'm so shocked, because John Wall and Bradley Beal are definitely eclipsing what they did last year. John Wall is proving that he is an elite point guard in this league. I personally would have chosen him as the starting point guard in the East, but Kyle Lowry, well deserved. You could have made an argument for either one of those guys. But 46-36, not horrible. They started off really well and then kind of went downhill from there. Marcin Gortat, beast. Nene, beast. They got a decent squad. They're the number 5 seed, so they're going to be playing Toronto. And as far as that series is going, I believe that Washington won yesterday. They did. Paul Pierce had a great game. I think Washington actually would take that series against Toronto. But let's get right into the whole point of the video here. Who I think is going to make the Eastern Conference Finals? I'm going to have to go with Cleveland and Atlanta. I just can't go with any other teams other than them. I don't see anyone stopping Atlanta other than Cleveland. Not that I'm saying not yet. Don't fast forward. I'm just saying other than Cleveland, I don't see any team that can get past Atlanta. I think Atlanta swings the ball too much. I think they got way too much of a three-point threat with Kyle Korver and Jeff Teague. I think Jeff Teague definitely penetrates the defense and gets the ball to the open man. I think Atlanta gets there easily. I think Cleveland is also going to get there easily. Kevin Love showed today why he is considered a superstar. I think LeBron James and Kyrie Irving are definitely going to step their games up as they always do. And then you got so many players on Cleveland. Their bench is decent. Not the greatest bench in the league, but just taking a look here. Let me go over their roster, the stats for today's game. On the bench, you got Iman Shumpert, Tristan Thompson, James Jones, Matthew Dellavedova, Sean Marion, and that's a decent NBA bench. I'm not saying that those players are going to make the All-Star team anytime soon. Although a couple of them, well, just Sean Marion has made the All-Star team before. But your starting lineup, you could easily take Dellavedova and put him in for J.R. Smith. Take J.R. Smith and have him come off the bench like he did when he played for the Knicks. Timothy Mozgov, amazing piece in the center. He stepped his game up. I remember when Timothy Mozgov was a throw-in in the Carmelo Anthony trade that sent him from the Knicks to Denver. No one on the Knicks even cared about him. Fans barely even knew who he was. I knew who he was, but I'm not a fan. I'm a fanatic. breathe them. But the person I hated seeing traded to Denver in that trade was Danilo Gallinari, and then also Wilson Chandler. But the fact that Mozgov wasn't even considered to be anything part of that trade, and now he's probably arguably the biggest piece of that trade other than Carmelo. So, good pickup by Cleveland there. Now, out of those two teams, Cleveland and Atlanta, who do I think is going to end up going to the NBA Finals? I think you got to go with the experience. I think you can make a very good case for Atlanta, But LeBron has, he's gone to the last 4 NBA Finals. I don't think this is the year that he breaks that streak. I think he's going to the number 5th final. David Blatt has not had any experience in the NBA. It's his first year. But if you look at what he's done in years past, when he coached in Israel, coached in Russia, coached in many other countries, the guy's won so many championships. He's actually won more championships than Greg Popovich, according to the research that I just did online before making this video. So, Cleveland Cavaliers, 2015 Eastern Conference champions. Do they have enough to beat whoever comes out of the West? Wait and see. I'm going to make that Western Conference video here momentarily. This has been That NBA Guy, Josh. Who do you guys think is going to make the Eastern Conference Finals? Who do you think is going to represent the East in the NBA Finals? Drop it in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.